me. It's Stephanie Beck again, best-selling author of Social Trigger Points, Small Business Trendsetters, and our latest Social Misalignments. I am here today to talk to you about SMART goals because quite a few times we always talk about using SMART goals, especially when you're planning out and crafting your social media agenda. Now, I did not come up with the meaning of SMART goals. Someone else a lot smarter than me did, but I like SMART goals because they are so great and help you get organized with your identifying your goals and how to get there. So SMART basically the S stands for being specific. You want to create objectives that have specific and positively described. So if you don't have it really mapped out as to what it is you're trying to achieve, how are you going to know when you get there, right? The M means measurable. We need to make sure that we have measurables put in place for each point as we're going through, as well as a measurable as to when we've completed the task. Otherwise, how are you going to know when you get there? Attainable, I want to share with you a little story. Attainable means it should be attractive for the project team to reach the goal. And whether you're working with a team or individually, for your practice, it doesn't matter. That you got to make sure that they're attainable. And the reason is about 25 years ago when I was supervising a large sales staff, we were constantly setting goals, and the salespeople would go through at the end of every month, ready for next month, and they would evaluate their goal and then set their new goal for the next year. Now, back then, we used to have a saying that was shoot for the moon. So even if you miss, you land amongst the stars, which worked to a certain degree, but I kept seeing time and time again, if those salespeople were setting these unattainable goals that really weren't realistic, which is what the R stands for, these go hand in hand. If you are setting a goal that is completely out of reach, what I would see from some of the salespeople from time to time that were constantly there's something to be said for trying to always be uncomfortable. Make sure you're not staying within your comfort zone, but you also got to make sure that it is realistic and attainable, because if you don't, time and time again, you're never able to reach the moon. You don't even land amongst the stars. You're not even getting close. It can have a very negative effect, right? So if you're trying to get to the moon and all you have is a bottle rocket to try to get there, it's never going to happen. You need that NASA rocket strapped in with astronaut equipment in order to reach the moon. So let's make sure that you're setting attainable and realistic goals, because the objects need to be achievable in a realistic way. And then lastly, the T stands for time bound. The goal has to be set with a time frame. We are all creatures of habit, and we can all be procrastinators in one way or another. Even the most organized people can be procrastinators. If we don't set a start time and a deadline, it'll never get finished. So you've got to put a start and end date on it. That's not to say that you can't adjust the goal. The goals don't have to be ingrained in stone. But if you don't at least set up your goals and set yourself up for accomplishing it, then you're never gonna reach the moon if you don't, right? So here's an example of what I mean by some clearly objective and measurable marketing objectives. Say you want to increase traffic to my website by 25% within 90 days. Well, in order to figure out whether this is attainable and realistic, one of the things you need to do is you need to go to how much traffic is being increased to my website currently. If it's 0 and you want to go to 25, then you better make sure that you've got some measurables in between in the next 90 days and a plan of action on how you're going to get there. We started working with a new client about 3 weeks ago, and one of her goals was that she had a 40% open rate and she wanted a 80% open rate. But She didn't want to implement anything else in between in order to get there. She just wanted it to magically happen. Well, that, my friends, is the pure definition of insanity. Doing the exact same thing and expecting different results. It's not enough to just set the goals. They have to be realistic, attainable, and you have to put steps in place, measurable, specific items in place in order to make sure you're going to get there. And make sure you do that and test your goals for each item. Like, for instance, growing my email list by 25 subscribers within the next 7 days. Well, if you're currently growing your email list by 2 new subscribers per week, how are you going to increase to 7? Are you going to make a new social media agenda? Are you going to incorporate that with the rest of your marketing? Are you going to send out a postcard? What is it that you're going to do so that you can potentially have more clients? Are you going to post more? Are you going to get organized more with your social media? Are you going to send out more emails? What is it that you're going to do? What is it that you're going to provide? Are you going to do a webinar? Are you going to create some new videos? Whatever that is. And then at day 3, you're going to do a check-in. If you're trying to get to 7 and you started with, you're automatically going to get 2. By day 3, if you don't have at least 3 subscribers, then chances are you're not going to reach 7 by the end of day 7, right? So it does, and I'm not saying that that's a failure, but you can certainly adjust the items that you're doing in order to get the subscribers so that you can meet that goal, or you adjust the goal so that it is achievable and attainable and realistic, right? The last item, generate X amount of qualified leads by X amount of days. Again, you better be very clear as to how you're going to do that, because just doing the same thing and expecting different results, we all know, is the definition of insanity. Got questions about social media, about sales funnels, how to generate people from social media onto your email list, or maybe you just need some simple help. How do I get started? Be sure to connect with us. Send me a tweet on Twitter, and it's at SRB Solutions. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook. Our business page is SRB Solutions. We're on Pinterest. We're also on LinkedIn. We have Google Plus accounts. We have Google Plus pages. Look for SRB Solutions. I am a social fanatic. I'm the one who's constantly on there. We've had lots of great questions, and so I want to continue to provide you with the right tools to help you with your success for your practice. I look forward to connecting with you, and until next time, I want you to remember to keep it social.